Hi everyone, I want to talk to you about this Notion field guide to naming your needs at work. So what it is really a scaffold for you. It is a series of exercises. It's a little bit program, it's a little bit workbook. It's kind of a mix of all the things. It doesn't fit neatly in a box. Nothing I do fits neatly in a box, and that's okay. I like it that way. I invite you to like it that way with me. And so what this is it's meant to do really two things. Get you to think deeply about your needs and then how you meet them. Because what I find is at work, we actually feel like we're not allowed to have needs at all. Like, full stop, at all. So lots of us have never thought about what having needs could possibly look like. We don't think about what they are or how to meet them because we've never had them before. We've never thought about having them. Having them feels a little bit dangerous. And I'd imagine there are some of you who are listening to me right now who can actually feel it a little bit in your chest, who are like nervous just thinking about the idea of talking about naming your needs at work. If that's not you, then fantastic. Please come tell me how that works, how it happens. But that is not my experience. So this is the field guide. And it starts with a simple idea, which is I'm allowed to be a complex human at work, and naming my needs is vital to my soul. Now, in here, you have the ability to move everything around. If it doesn't work for you, don't keep it. What's also fun is that because you have the actual Notion link, which when you sign up for this, I have a little video about how this whole thing works for you. So it can be explained. But you'll actually always be able to get the original version, and I will send you updates as I develop even better pieces of this field guide. So what happens is you start, I give you a little discussion of a welcome and why. You also get that in the PDF when you buy it. There's some video instructions that look remarkably like this but have a little bit different content, I promise. And then this is the place to start talking about the four needs, the four elemental needs at work. And we can dig on them here. Four elemental needs at work. Each piece there's specific discussion of it. If you go over here, you can see everything there is. There's discussion of survival responses and polyvagal theory. Charting my capacity. What is your capacity? Spoiler alert. There are limits. We all have limits. Points of difference. In what different ways are you not like the people around you, or just like the people around you? What does that look like? Some of the top ones: introvert, extrovert. What does saying no feel like? Etc. Etc. I actually cite Brené Brown here in identifying your values. She has a non-exhaustive list, which I invite anyone and everyone to add to. But the big takeaway there is figure out what your values are so that you can be accountable to them. This has been a really, really important piece for me. Similarly, Jake Ernst, who is a therapist out of Toronto, Canada, figured out a model called the roots of safety, which are how do we find safety for ourselves. And he actually developed a whole model, and it is listed here. The pieces are listed, and you get to figure out what your roots of safety really are. There's things like identifying the people that you work with. There's some video instructions specific to that piece, and it helps you figure out who can help you in naming your needs. It asks you to think about what is life-giving in your job, what is life-sucking in your job. We don't always think about these things. I will actually argue that more people want to not do the things they hate than to do the things they love. So what does that mean if you're trying to have a team that works really well together? Some different ideas about messaging and perception. How do you actually talk about these things with other people? There's a piece about excavating expectations, because a lot of times in the workplace, we actually have no idea what it is that's expected of us. And so that's how do we get to the bottom of that before it blows up in our face because there's something that we didn't know. There's a piece here for encouragement that I really like, which is things go sideways. Things inevitably go sideways in our lives. And so I've added a couple pieces here, but you should add the things that really matter to you. There's some audio. I have a little piece in here. I also clipped a piece from a 2015 One Direction concert, which should tell you a lot of things about me. And then there's some things on the internet that I have found that have been really helpful. And then a short discussion of music and playlists. So there's a whole bunch of different exercises in here for you. And in the end, what you get to is having this document that is full of all of the things that you need at work in order to be a complex human. And you have them at your fingertips. I keep doing this because I'm scrolling on my phone. You have them at your fingertips, and you never have to say, oh, this is what Liz thinks. You can say, this is what I think. Although, what I will say is I have often been used as a narrative device with someone's boss, which is to say, hey, a friend of mine is doing this thing. I know it sounds a little bit weird, but can we try it? And I'll be your friend, right? That can be me. You can be talking about me. Always be talking about me. Works great. So that is a field guide to naming your needs at work. I hope you'll join me.